Hi there, this is Best of Both Worlds, and I'm Linda V. Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me today. Last week we worked on a quilt that I called Crazy Trees, and we did all the backgrounds. This week I'm so excited to do the trees, and I'm going to do them freehand. I wanted you to see a quilt that I did in 1998, and this was the first time I had been exposed to doing trees, and I did them with some really cute designs. And so I'll let you take a look at some of those, and then we'll get started on those freehand trees. I decided I'm going to do the stems very simply and just do a line right down the middle. So I'm using my ruler just to go down the middle. I'm only going to do one, showing you one. The rest I will do, but I won't do that on camera again. So now what I did was I just quickly sketched out some of the freehand ideas that I love that I thought would go really well in these trees. So we'll just keep going here. I think I'll start with number 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around like this, and then I'm going to do some little half circles, and then come over here, half circles, and over here. I did go back into regulated because I'm going to be doing quite small when I get up into the little tree top. And then here, and then I'll come over here, and just, these are all kind of ski-wampas, so they're not straight on. So I'm putting the designs in exactly as they are. There we go. And then the little one, I'm going to find the middle of the, and I know that it's oriented that way. And so that's the way they're going to go in. And of course, they're quite a bit smaller. So they're dimensional. Okay, that one's finished. Also, this will be your last chance. You know, you're probably not going to pass this way again, so make sure that you got any little things that went around any of the times that the machine dragged the thread around. Just a final check there. I think number 6 would be a good one to do on this one. And in order to do that, I'm going to be using the triangle as my guide. So I'm going to stitch along the edge like this, and then I can start doing these U's. See how I follow the side of the triangle and back and over. I want it to be in a U shape. U, U. And now I'm sort of in the middle, so I'm going to come around and make a pinwheel, come back right out of it, try to stay kind of in the middle of that. And I'm doing U's that reverse my direction on these U's. If you don't think in terms, if you just think in terms of a half circle, it just doesn't cut it. You have to almost think of a U, and you follow the side. And that keeps that nice curve for you. Now I'm going to just stitch up the side just like I'm stitching in the ditch, sort of. Come over here, stitch over to the side of this one, and we'll do this in here. Oh my goodness, look at the texture that created in there. I love it. Pinwheel and out. which reversed. There we go. You'll be surprised if you try this on paper for a little while. You know, just keep practicing on paper, everything that we do on the show. Just practice on paper if you're not familiar with it, if you haven't got a lot of experience with freehand. You can do it. I know you can. And around. And that's going to be an excellent tree. You will be able to find that one on the quilt for sure because of that wonderful texture. There, and then I'll just take a couple of stitches to reverse. So there's that tree. Okay, now I'm going to do number 9. And so because these trees are kind of this ski wampus, I have had to draw some lines because I'm putting the pumpkin seed in each one of these. And there's 2 that will go in here, one in here, one in here in the middle. So I'm doing half circle, and that's kind of a semi-half circle, and I'll stitch in the ditch over to here, and then I'll jump in the middle of it, in the middle, in the middle, 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 and then out, and then stitch in the ditch carefully up here, and over, half circle, partial half circle, come over here, jump in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, and then I will stitch. It's easier for me just to stitch in the ditch to get to the next place rather than stopping and starting. And that might be true for you too, or maybe not. So look at that. That is so cute. And that's sort of a sashing idea, really. Very old-fashioned idea. I used to use teacups for that pattern. There we go, and that one's going to stand out too. Now I could use my eraser and just erase those lines because I don't want those to show. You can also use a, what are those textured cloths called? Microcloth. And in fact, some guy has invented something that takes that off too. It's a glove you put on, and and it works. It's really good. I like that because it just goes, it stays in line, parallel to the tree. Love it. Okay, I'm going to put number 5 in here, which is the stars. You just do one star after another. I know they don't show up very well in this green, but you just go from one to the next. You have to remember what you're doing. I'm telling you, you can get really mixed up. You have to think star, star. And might have to practice a little bit on paper. I hope all of you have been able to do some of these stars. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can do a straight line to get where you need to go. Sometimes it just goes from one star to the next, which is ideal, but other times you have to do just angles. Just make sure you go to a point. And the stars can be different sizes. So they'll come right into here. Take that leg of that one right over into there. I just don't know how much you can see of this, because this green really is blending. Come over here and go into the little one. And these have to be littler stars, of course. So again, because you're doing larger and then getting smaller, each one of these is really a dimensional design because they go from large to small. This design will show up on the back for sure, and when the quilt is hanging as a wall hanging, it will definitely show up, depending on what light they have on it. In the lighter color fabrics, I think I'm going to do kind of the feathery designs. I'm going to do number 8 in this one. And that one starts with a heart. And then I just lay these feathers down. You see how they're laying down? They're going to lay down right over into the corner. right like that. Then I follow the corner over and back up like this, and then they're laying like this, kind of upside down. Don't worry. Now I'm going to do a heart in this one. I'm doing all the sides, all one side first, and then I'll come back doing the others. Now this does take a little bit of skill with your feathers, so you do want to practice on paper again, just so you get because you're changing upside down, this side, that side, and all of that. So a little heart here. These are cute little feathers coming over here into the corner, and follow your ditch there to set yourself up for the other feather. And this one's going to hang right in the middle, and then my direction changes. Come over here. They'll be laying down this way, right next to the heart. Then I'll come down in the middle. There we go. They're laying down this way. Look at that. You really want to know how to do those feathers well. Practice and practice and practice. And that's okay, because that's what we've all had to do. There we go. Right into the corner, not quite as far into the corner as this is going to be right in the corner. There we go. And there we have it. Okay, I'm doing my design number 1 on this one, which is your simple loop-de-loops. So let's see how that goes. These are going to be larger, but I'm going to reach out to the ends and reach out. You can see that I'm staying with the design, the angle of the triangle. And then in this one, they're not quite as big, of course. These are so fun. This is a fun design. Fun freehand design to fill in anywhere. And then this one, and it's going to be leaning, and they're going to be smaller. So cute. Okay. This was a nice challenge quilt because, you know, you have to do that dimensional, you have to do angles. I love this plaid fabric in here, and I thought about doing a plaid or doing something with the fabric, but instead I'm going to do the triangles, similar to what I just did on the loop-de-loop, but I go to the top and then come parallel down, or perpendicular, I'm sorry, to this edge, then go over here and try to come perpendicular down to that edge to keep it in line with, I'm looking at that edge every time I go over, trying to be perpendicular to the bottom edge of the tree branch. It feels weird because it's not perpendicular to the bottom of my quilting machine, certainly. Now this one, over, down, perpendicular. Just remember to go up higher because you're going to be coming back lower. Now this one I'm going to come over here and come down perpendicular to that bottom edge. It doesn't get any funner than this, folks. This is another light color, so I know whatever I put in here is really going to show. So I'm going to do number 3, which is the stacked feather, and I'm going to start in a corner over here. And all you have to do is put your nice little teardrop there, and then make a nice little curve. Come around, and make sure you come up when you come up. So you have almost like a little triangle there. Follow that back around, up a little ways, and then drop back down and back. Okay, so over and go up, and then drop down and back. What you want to get is that little triangle in there, and that's what makes your feather so much prettier. So it doesn't look like it's just hooked. It is definitely a feather. And I'll come over there and I'll just sort of follow that line over and come right over here. If you come up first and then come down, then you're ready to make the first feather, like that. Yes, I have learned that by quilting so much. So you don't have to learn it. And I'm going to stop right there because I see that I have some little threads here that are dragged over that I haven't been able to cut yet. So I'm going to cut those right now. Get those out of the way. There we go. And come back down. And one more little feather there, and then just kind of stitch in the ditch over here, back over here. Up first and then down, that made the teardrop, and then swing back. Practice, 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 and you'll be able to put these anywhere you want, and what a great satisfactory feeling that is. Oh, that is so pretty, especially with the contrasting thread. Okay, we have 2 trees left. What haven't we done? We haven't done number 10, and we haven't done number 4. So let's do number 4. Number 4, you really want to practice first, just a little bit, because I'm telling you, you can get going the wrong way right off the bat, and you're suddenly completely off of your square. So I can see that it's at the top and it goes right. Okay, and it is absolutely dimensional in each one of these designs, in each one of these triangles on the tree, as well as the size of them. So come this way, and you really want to swing out, swing out, swing out, swing out, swing out, swing out. This is a bigger area. Swing out. I love this design because it makes everything look like pebbles. And I'm just going to stitch in the ditch up here like that and come back out here. I know they swing this way, and then as I come around, it's going to get larger. There's my large one. This is a great design to do in sashings too. It is awesome. And you'll be so surprised at how even you can do it. Doing it in the triangle like this, where they have to get larger and then smaller again, is probably a little more challenging, but you don't have to do it in a triangle. I am going to love that. That gives it a really good texture. So that our last one is actually number 10, and it is simply kind of a regular stippling, but I'm going to throw a pinwheel in every so often, just to give it a variety there, so it's not just all stippling. Just put a pinwheel in, all the way out, and then some more stippling. So when that texture shows up, it will be awesome. So in each one of these, I am making my design a little bit closer together. So this would be a little bit more medium. That was sort of my large over there. And then quite tiny in this. Like a little tiny pinwheel in there. So cute. And we'll do one more over here. There we go. This was a very fun quilt for me to work on. I really enjoyed figuring out how to bring the trees back. And you may notice I'm looking at this one that has the light leaves, and that's the one that shows up the most. So always keep in mind that your lighter colors are going to show off your quilting even more. But you can still look at each one, and they're all individually quilted, and it's really fun quilt. And you can definitely see the words at the bottom, the name of the quilt, because I did that contrasting thread. And it's just an awesome wall hanging for a cabin. It's amazing. So I hope you can use some of these techniques that we did today. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.